Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about, is the Harry Potter series doomed to fail? So the Harry Potter series is coming soon, probably within a few months and everything, before the year is over with. And a lot of people are curious for a million different reasons. Is it gonna do well? Is it gonna flop? How bad is the discourse gonna be and everything? Are friendships gonna be ended? Are relationships gonna be ended because of it? Because of all the controversy surrounding that of J.K. Rowling and everything, Miss Moldy herself. And so for these last couple of days with all this new Harry Potter stuff being talked about and more cast reveals and stuff like that, I've been doing a lot of thinking. And one of the first videos I ever put out, well, not really the first, but it took me a long time, was the three R's of like Hollywood: reboot, remake, and revival. And I've said before, whenever you have a movie that does not do very well, they tend to make a remake on like a television series, and it does pretty like good, better than that of the movie, because they fix all the mistakes that the movie did. But then I also said, if you have a movie that does very well at the box office and it's like a huge hit for many decades to come, they then do a TV series and the TV series fails. And one of the reasons why, because the TV show just can't live up to the greatness of that of the movie. And, that's how it normally is. You have, say, Clueless, the movie, which was amazing. Then you had a television show that struggled for about 3 seasons or so. And I like the television series, but even I admit the television series was never as great as the movie. And it struggled, okay, it got canceled on ABC, picked up on UPN, and the tone completely shifted and changed. And then you have like rush hour movies, which are great. But then you have that television show that's just like, no. And then you have things like Bad Teacher, which I don't know how people feel about that movie. I personally love it. And the television show just sucked so bad and everything. But then you have those surprise hits. You have the first Highlander movie, which is beloved. And then you have the television show that's even more beloved and everything. And so it's one of those rare instances where like I can't talk for some reason. Instance where like the movie was good, but the television show was even more amazing than everything. Until the television show wasn't. But for the most part, the television show is more beloved than all the movies combined and everything. Because the movies have problems and stuff. There are like four of them. No, five of them, and only three, in my opinion, are good out of that five. The second and the fifth one are just horrible and stuff. But then it comes to that of like Harry Potter. And okay, stop being ignorant for a second and just admit to the facts. The movies are freaking amazing, man. Like, I know y'all are pissed about J.K. Rowling and stuff, but just admit to the truth. The movies are awesome. The movies were global. They were a phenomenon. They were a movement. They made so much in merch and everything. So many toys and costumes and wands and props and DVD sales and everything. I remember one time a Harry Potter movie came out, I literally spent about $18 on that DVD. It was the last movie that came out. And I normally don't buy movies for that much money. I wait until they're cheaper. And so, yeah, despite the movies differing from the books, there's a lot of stuff left out. people still love them. They're still high grossing. They still made a lot of money. And they're still beloved till this day. So then it begs that question. If a movie is great and they make a television show out of it, will that television show bomb? Or will it have a Highlander type thing going on to where movie's great, but then the television show is even better? Only time will tell. However, there is a problem when it comes to a television show, and that's J.K. Molding herself, who has pissed off so many people because she's transphobic and everything, and she's literally using her money to make situations worse for trans people in the UK. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, why? She's rich, she's famous, she's beloved. Why is she being a bigot for? And, it's one of those things that has now divided the fan base. You're either for Harry Potter or you're against it. And we've seen in just the past couple of years what happens when all these actors take on Harry Potter projects, whether it be the television show or the Audible and everything. They get attacked left and right online. So what do they always do? They either get online or in front of a camera and they always say, hey, look, I don't agree with JK. I support people in their rights, but I'm doing this series. And then they get attacked more. Then some people just stay completely silent and just let, have is and everything. And there have been a lot of beloved celebrities that have recently joined JK's Audible or television series for the Harry Potter thing. And they have gotten brutally attacked online. They have lost followers and everything. People are talking about they support hate and everything. And, we are now starting to see the effects of it and how much will that trickle over in the viewership of the television show. Like Nicholas Hoult is the latest person to join, which I'm gonna guess for season 2, maybe 3, because his character appears in the second book. And he's now getting hate online for it and stuff. And the dude's always been a beloved actor, And then of course you have those racist people who are all like, why does Hermione not have to be white? Why is there a black snake? Till this day, nobody knows what race the Hermione girl is. And the moment the show comes out, they're gonna attack her because they're not going to care if she's a little kid or not. And you see the way they act about Black Snake making AI videos of him flying on a broom downtown London, shooting the place up and everything. And so you're going to have those people automatically hating on the series and everything, but only because of the representation. And then you're going to have actual black people who are going to be all like, you know what? I'm tired of race bending. I'm tired of racist white people attacking us. Just stop doing it and everything. Just let us go back to not appearing in no projects or having not one black person be in a project, or us making our own projects and only our people watch and nobody else watch and they don't get funded. And, it is becoming a mess. And, so the television show has an uphill battle. There's a lot going against it. If it doesn't live up to the movies, people are gonna hate it. The racists are gonna attack it. What is it? You're gonna have some people who are transphobic like JK and like, well, I'm just gonna watch this just because I hate trans people and everything. Then you got the people who advocate for trans people and be all like, oh, I'm boycotting it. I knocked the camera over. I'm boycotting this and everything. And yeah, only time is gonna tell. And then of course, like I said before, there is that myth, I guess you could say, or actually, it's not even really a myth because, like, seriously, if a movie does great, normally television show does not. So then you have that against it and everything. And it's one of those things that's going to be a curious watch. A watch in terms of like, is it going to bomb? Is it not? And you know, people are going to be on the edge of their seat checking the internet constantly to see if what the viewership's going to be like and everything. Is this worth it? Are people careers worth it and stuff? And you know, it's just one of those things because you got the racists who want you to hate it just because they want everybody in there to be white. Then you have people who are so moral with moral fiber, it's just like they're crapping out their mouths. Like people who are, yes, on the right side of life and are moral and supports human rights and everything and humanitarianism and stuff like that, but they go about it in a way that turns you off. Like, you know, remember SNL? Cecily Strong had a character she would play on the weekend updates where it's like that one woman you never want to meet in the club because the moment you start talking to her, she just starts nagging you to death about everything that's like wrong with you and she's right and she's better than you. I have literally seen YouTubers recently like that, talking about Harry Potter and politics and everything else. And it's like you like, yes, they are on the right side of life. They're not backwards thinking or nothing like that. But they go about it in such a cringe way that it makes you not want to associate with them. It's just like, shut up, please. Or at least say it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like you're coming off as like a judgmental, cringy person, you know? And it makes people just not want to associate with you. And it makes people assume you're going to be single for the rest of your life. And if you don't, you're going to find somebody who's whipped. But yeah, I am so curious to know how this is all going to turn out. And it sucks because I really want to watch this show, but I don't want to contribute to bigotry. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I love the movies. I've never read the books. I still have my merch and everything. Ain't no way I'm getting rid of my merch because it costs too much stinking money. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, yeah, if it's like an actor or an actress who's like horrible and everything, and I got a couple of their DVDs, I'll toss them. But then there are times when there's like an actor who's just horrible. And I still got his show. I ain't watched the show in a long time because of his stupid views on life and everything. But it's just kind of like, I'm not ready to like toss that DVD because I just like that show so much, and it's one of those things, you know. And so like, crap, where was I going with this? I completely forgot. I started thinking about that television show now. Having merch, having the now I remember what I was gonna say. And so yeah, I love Harry Potter and stuff, and I've always wanted to talk about like the movies. And I think I know for a fact I talked about one back in the day, before all this controversy. I might have talked about two, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact I talked about the third movie during Halloween. And it sucks because I want to talk about all the movies, and I really want to talk about my favorite one, the second one. But I would feel guilty if I did, you know what I'm saying? Here I am, this person who's all about human rights and everything and civil rights and everything. I can't talk about like the Harry Potter movies. I will be a hypocrite and everything, you know? Like I would be a person who like doesn't stand up for what they stand up for, you know what I'm saying? And it's all because of that stinking moldy woman. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a lot of people love wrestling. A lot of people join wrestling, like say WWE. But every person who owns the WWE or works in creative is a literal bigot and everything. Everybody from Vince McMahon to Linda McMahon to both their kids to Triple H to Nick Khan to Michael Hayes, etc., Road Dogg, etc., Undertaker, etc., and everything like that. But yet people still watch WWE, you know, and a lot of people still join the WWE, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, okay, these people are working and watching a show where people own it who are bigots, literal bigots and racists and stuff. Does that make them horrible for joining it and watching it? Do they sell their soul for it just because they love that entertainment value? And the same thing is going to be said about Harry Potter. Like, a bigot literally owns the entire franchise. Do you continue to support that franchise? You know what I'm saying? Do you sell your soul to that franchise because you love it so much? It's like, why does she have to be so stinking moldy for it? Like, she's doing harm to her own brand. Or is this going to be like a Hogwarts legacy thing? The moment she started her bigotry, the video game came out and boom, millions. It made millions. And now it's finally getting a sequel. So all those people that made it a success literally said, we don't care about like her views. We just like Harry Potter and everything. And the show could have that same effect, you know? But like I said before, only time will tell. And to harken back to something I said earlier when I said this show has to live up to the movie and everything in order for it to be a success. See, here's the thing. It doesn't have to live up to the books to be a success because the movies differed from the books ever so slightly and left stuff out, and they still made millions, and they still garnered tons of fans and everything that never knew anything about Harry Potter before. So while the people who read the books wanted to be very, very, very faithful and everything, that's not who this show really has to impress. It has to impress those moviegoers that knew nothing about the books because most likely they are going to be the other half of the people who are going to tune into the television show and everything. And, you know, but what we know so far about this show is that, yes, it is going to be faithful to the books. It's going to introduce characters that, you know, we never saw in the movies. It's going to have experiences that we never saw in the movies. People personalities are now going to be correct, like Ron and everything. So, when you have a moviegoer like myself who's never read the books, and if they watch the television show and they see people's personalities aren't what they remember from the movies, they're going to be dismissive of it and everything. So, like I said before, only time will tell if this show will be a hit or if it's gonna be a huge bomb and everything. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.